In this session, we got 4 points that we got to get together. Now, the first one is going to be playing the bass drum with proper technique. We're going to learn both a heel down technique and a heel up technique. You have to know both. And we're going to learn a little bit about setting up the snare drum. The other things are, we're going to learn how the hands move, which is kind of a precursor to learning how to hold the sticks properly and learning some basic rebound strokes. So, beyond that, the important points that you're going to want to master, or the important skills that you're going to want to learn and master, are being able to play a strong beat on the bass drum with really good technique. You're also going to want to be able to hold the sticks comfortably with a loose grip. You're also going to want to get a good sound out of the snare drum by having a good grip and a good stroke. And then playing and counting a good solid beat on the bass drum while you play eighth notes on the snare. We're just going to start simple and learn some foundation stuff here. Now, the bass drum is to a drum set what a foundation is to a house. The basic function of the bass drum is to help state the beat or the pulse, however you want to refer to it, of the song. And it's that part of the rhythm of a song that makes you tap your foot. The beat is what makes you tap your foot when you're listening to music. So the bass drum is the foundation instrument of the drum set and the foundation for the groove of the band. So it's very important that you set it up correctly so that you're in a comfortable playing position. Now, the bass drum pedal is a very important thing. The bass drum was originally played marching band style, strapped on like the Energizer Bunny in the battery commercial. Around the turn of the 20th century, the invention of the spring-loaded bass drum pedal made it possible to play the bass drum with the right foot, which is how we play it today. So, since the pedal is your connection to the instrument, and since the bass drum is the foundation instrument, and arguably the most important instrument on the kit, it stands to reason that having the pedal adjusted properly is vitally important to your comfort level on the drums. So check it out. I'm going to pull the pedal off here, this bass drum pedal pull it off the hoop, and we're going to talk about this little monster here. The pedal is your connection to the instrument. It separates your foot from expressing yourself on the drums. So in the bass drum pedal, rebound is the name of the game with the bass drum. And we want the beater to rebound off of the head just like a bouncing ball. So we want to set up and fine-tune the bass drum pedal action in order to maximize the bounce off the bass drum head. One detail that profoundly affects your comfort level on the bass drum and is the first order of business of getting on the good foot is the angle of the beater. Now, most pedals will have an adjustment here that will allow you to adjust the at-rest angle of the beater. It can be high like that, which means it's going to start closer to the head, or you can have it a little further back. There's usually an infinite amount of adjustment that you'll have via a little screw right here. This Pearl pedal, this is one of their higher end pedals. It allows for an infinite adjustment of the angle of the beater. So that means adjusting the at-rest position of the beater. The angle that's right for you is a function of your weight, your musculature, and your playing technique. For now, let's angle the beater at about 2 o'clock or 2:30 on the clock, if you're looking at it that way. So that'll give you enough throw that you can get a nice schmack against the bass drum head. So the next issue is the tension of the spring. There's a spring right here with an adjustment down here and there's a locking nut that comes down. Once you get the tension just right, you can lock it down, just finger tight, and it'll stay there. A lot of times without that, it'll come loose in play, and you'll have a floppy pedal. You don't want a floppy pedal. So, the thing about the tension, if it's too loose, you're going to lose rebound and feel. If the spring tension on the bass drum pedal is too tight, it's going to make it hard to play. So again, this is also a function of your weight, your musculature, and playing technique, whether you play heel up or heel down. And I'm going to suggest for now that you start with the tension of the spring a little on the loose side as you develop your technique. Then you can fine-tune the tension, as your preference dictates. So let's connect the pedal by clamping it to the bass drum hoop. Now, the clamping device on the pedal is a little wing screw right here that's going to allow us to get it nice and firmly attached to the bass drum. And we want it firm because you don't want it to slide around in play, which will really mess you up when you're trying to do a gig. Okay, now the bass drum pedal's on nice and tight. Now, let's talk about our position with the bass drum and the throne. You want to position yourself in such a way, in your relationship to the bass drum, in such a way that your knee is bent at a slightly greater than 90-degree angle. And this is going to minimize stress on your back and your hips. Now, since the bass drum is our foundation, we're going to need solid foot technique in order to make the band feel comfortable. Now, there's two basic techniques of playing the bass drum that you're going to want to learn. There's the heel up technique, which is like you see the rebound coming off? That's very important. And there's also heel down technique, which is where you leave your heel on the footboard. Also, rebound is the name of the game. Now, while many drummers play one way or the other exclusively, I believe it's really important to learn and master both. Why? Because it's hard to get enough power to play a hard rock song or a hard funk song in the heel down position for a long period. On the other hand, it's difficult to play a soft jazz ballad or something delicate with enough delicacy in the heel up position. So you're going to want to use both. Now, in both the techniques, we're going to use rebound. The beater's going to bounce off the head like this. There's a heel down. Here's the heel up rebound. Notice the heel returns to the footboard after striking the instrument. We're not going to bury the beater into the head just yet. Now, that's a valid technique too, and it has a great use, but just not right now. We're going to deal with that a little later. Now, using rebound is going to help you get a really nice, round, fat sound out of the bass drum. So, in other words, after you strike the drum, the beater just bounces back to the at-rest position. So let's talk about the heel down position first. We're going to use this position when playing soft passages or slow songs, which are called ballads. Playing this way has a very grounded feeling to it. You'll feel very settled. The downside, though, is you're probably going to experience some pain in your shins from practicing in this position, but soon you'll get comfortable with it and the pain will go away. But remember that after striking the drum, that beater rebounds off the head and back to the at-rest position. Now, in the heel up position, we're going to use this when we need power to play rock or funk or any kind of heavy music. To get the rebound or the bounce while striking with the heel up, we need to immediately return the heel to the footboard. I know I've said it twice, but it's really important. I really try to incorporate a return motion to the footboard as part of the rhythm. So in other words, if I'm counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Now that you understand how the feet are going to work the pedals, or work the bass drum pedal, let's do it together. Let's do this together. We're going to do it nice and slow. Just take it real easy. We're just going to see if we can keep a beat. And we're going to use that heel down method with lots of rebound. Are you ready? 1, 2, here we go. 1, 2, 3. See if you can count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice and strong. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Here's the pulse or the beat. 4. Can you find that beat? 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Excellent. Great job. Don't quit on me now. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Do it with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent. Excellent. Most excellent. Now, let's do it with the heel up. We're going to return the heel to the footboard, getting a nice bounce off the head. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Can you find that beat? I know you can. 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Got it feeling good now. Do it along with me. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent. Okay, now we're ready to play along with some music here. What we're going to do is we're going to play along with CD 3, track number 11. It's called Rockin' Mo, and it's a real slow, heavy rock song that will help us find the beat of the song. That's going to be our mission here. We're going to just find the beat or pulse of the song. So, maestro, roll the track. Here we go. There's the pulse. Can you find it? Now this is just the pulse or the beat that we'd be playing along to when we start actually doing beats, but you have to know where this is at. Now we're going to the chorus. And it's counted like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So play along with this with your heel down, using a nice rebound. Just play along with the pulse, that's all. Excellent, excellent. So now you've understood and played the beat of the song along with the track. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do the same CD. It's track number 12 off of CD 3. But this is the one minus the drums. So we're actually going to provide the beat of the song. This time we're going to play still heel down on the bass drum, and we're going to find the beat of the song. This time we're not going to have the drum track as a reference. There's going to be a click track on there, which is in the studio they use a click track to help keep time and help keep everybody on an even keel. And the click track is going to be playing at twice the rate of the beat of the song. Check it out. Hear that click? Here's the beat. Play along with it. One, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to play 4 beats like this, and then we're going to double the beats. We're going to play what we call eighth notes. We're going to play 4 pulse beats, and then 4 double time beats. Okay? Coming up at the chorus, we're going to do that. Just keep this going. Don't quit on me. Okay, here's the chorus again. 1, 2, 3. Now 4 double time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2. You can do this. Count with me. 1 and 2 and 3. Most excellent. You hung in there great. That's great. So we're starting to feel it in your shins, I bet. Well, that's a good thing. That means your muscles are getting a workout. And you're going to keep on practicing this a million times until it feels good, until you're getting a nice rebound, until you're right with that click track. It's going to be beautiful. So now we're going to do the exact same thing, but we're going to practice this time with our heel up. We're going to get that rebound stroke with our heel up. And after we play the pulse note, our heel returns to the footboard. Then when we get to that bridge again, we're going to do the double time. We're going to really give ourselves a workout here. So are you ready? Okay, maestro. Here's the pulse. 1, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Heel up now. Nice rebounding stroke. You're returning your heel to the footboard. 1, 2. Now count with me. You can do this. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Now the double time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and... Excellent, excellent. So now you get the idea of what it's like to play with your heel up on the bass drum. So that's a little bit about the techniques of playing the bass drum pedal. Now in this segment of session 1, we're going to deal with a couple of issues. The first of which is the snare drum and how to set it right, get the height correctly, get it sitting in the cradle correctly, the angle, that kind of thing. It's very important because this is one of your anchor instruments on the kit. So with that being said, we want to talk about being able to put the drum in the cradle, in the snare drum stand, in such a way that it is not clamped down. It just should rest in the cradle very comfortably. You don't want to clamp it tight because it'll choke the sound of the drum. The other thing is the height of the snare drum. You don't want the snare to be set so high that the hands are uncomfortable. What happens, for example, if you set it really high, you're going to have to choke your shoulders up like that. Scrunching your shoulders up is not good. That will hurt your back. And it'll also fix it so you're going to probably click your sticks against each other while you play the hi-hat if you play crossed like this. So we want to make sure that the snare is set up, at the optimum height. A good test for that is go ahead and put your stick on the hi-hat and one stick on the snare drum and just play like alternating strokes. If you're able to play like that without hitting sticks on your up stroke here with the snare stick, you're probably fine. So you're probably fine. So just experiment with various heights to find the one that's right for you. Now, the other issue is the angle of the snare. That's going to be a function of the kind of grip you end up using. But for now, let's angle the snare drum back just ever so slightly. It's just going to come back, I'd say, maybe about like that. So before we learn how to play the snare drum, let's examine how the hand moves, how the hands want to move when playing the drums. The hands move in a motion similar to waving bye-bye or bouncing a basketball. It's a lot like this. Now, if you notice, the wrists, they are meant to move this way with the back of the hand facing up, much like this. It's like bouncing a basketball or waving bye-bye. Just practice this one hand at a time. And that's how your hands are going to move when the sticks are in them. So, how about gripping the stick? How do we hold these drumsticks? That's a very, very, very important thing. How we grip the sticks is going to affect very much our comfort on the instrument. Unlike most instruments, where you're actually touching the instrument with your hands, like a guitar, or playing with your mouth, as in a horn, the drummer is way different. The drummer is separated from his or her instrument by the drumstick. So the drumsticks are your connection to the instrument. Therefore, learning good technique in the hands is really important, and it'll enable you to get a really good rebound. Remember, we talked about rebound on the bass drum? Well, it's just as important on the snare drum and all the other drums. So it'll help you get a good rebound. It'll help you get a good beefy sound, and it'll maximize your ability to transfer your ideas from your brain to the drums with a minimum of effort. But before we get into the grip, let's just talk about how are these drumsticks set up here? How are they built? The drumstick will have 4 basic parts. This on the end here, that's called the butt. And then along here, this is called the shaft. And then the taper here is called the shoulder of the stick. And then this is the tip. Now the butt end of the stick, normally the drummer holds the sticks like that with the tip at the top. But sometimes if you want a powerful sound, you can hold the sticks and play with the butt. A powerful sound on the snare drum can be achieved by using the butt of the stick, as in heavier rock or funk. Now, the shaft of the stick typically is where the player is going to hold the stick. And what we're going to do, I just want you to grab your sticks caveman style like this. And then what we're going to do is loosen up a little bit. And loosen up, and then that 2/3 point down to the end of the stick is going to be our optimum spot for getting what we call the fulcrum. Now, check it out. If I grab too far up the stick, we get some rebound, but not a tremendous amount. If I grasp it too far back, look what happens. All the weight's at the front, and it just kind of slams into the head. If I find that sweet spot about 2/3 of the way into the stick towards the butt from the tip, look what happens. Up. So we get all kinds of bounce from that point on the stick. So you want to grab it between your thumb and your index finger, just past the first joint, okay? And then take the rest of your fingers, lightly wrap them around the stick, just like that. And when you turn your hand over so that the back of your hand is facing upward, remember Remember how the hands want to move. It's like that. You're going to have this little space here between your thumb and index finger. That's a good thing. That means you've got a nice loose grip happening. And it's a very loose kind of grip. And this is going to help you get rebound. It's going to help you get the sticks to bounce. Rebound is the name of the game. Why do we need rebound? We need maximum rebound because we want the sticks to do most of the work for us. We don't want to have to work the sticks. We want the sticks to do the work, not the drummer. So there are two basic grips in drumming. I feel I need to just mention both of them. We're gonna learn matched grip, but there's a grip called traditional grip that you're going to see other drummers play in. You're going to say, what is that? How come Dan didn't show me that? Well, this is the way people played when there was parade drums and used to hang them off to your side, and it was the only way for the left hand to play the drum. And that just kind of carried over into playing the drum set. But for our purposes, we're going to learn what we call match grip. So the grip that we just learned in our lead hand, we're going to duplicate with the other hand. So if you're left-handed or right-handed, it's not going to matter. Your grip's going to be exactly the same. And the grip is very simple and easy to learn, and it's basically a good universal grip. Okay. Now we're going to start to develop our rebounding stroke. Now, just like in our bouncing basketball example earlier, we're going to use the stick's rebound to keep us from working too hard. We want the stick to do as much of our work as possible. I mean, if we just mash the stick into the drum without using rebound, what's going to happen is the shock of the blow is going to travel up the stick into your wrists and arms and eventually cause tendinitis, which is going to take all the fun out of playing the drums. So let's learn the proper way to strike the drum. Let's take the sticks and form our grip. We've got our fulcrum here about 2/3 of the way. And we want to take our 3rd, 4th, and 5th fingers very loosely around the stick so that we're able to do this. Just let the sticks do this. Oh no, a rubber drumstick. So anyway, have you ever been fishing before? We're going to cast a fishing rod. If you've never been fishing before, it's kind of like this. Can you do that? Or have you ever cracked a whip before? It's like that. This is how the stroke should look. We're just going to play air drums for a minute. Let's play some air drums. We're going to start with the stick at rest. Coming up with the elbow. Come up with the elbow like that. The stick comes back. Let's do the other hand. Up with the elbow. So you kind of got a snaky whipping motion, just like casting a fishing rod. Let's do this together a few times. Put your body into it. Now, by putting your body into it, you're creating a feel for the time and the rhythm. Let's just do this for a minute. Now, these are big single strokes. Just very comfortable. Now, just make sure you got the fulcrum happening here and your fingers lightly wrapped around the sticks. Notice I'm not gripping them hard, nothing forceful. Okay, excellent, good job. Okay, I'm going to reach down and get this drum pad here. This is actually called a practice pad. And it's a very handy thing for a drummer to have. Every drummer should have one of these. Why? Because it's impractical to play these at any hour of the day. This you can play anytime and really not bother anybody. And also it's a great way to to work out exercises or techniques on the drums without wearing your ears out, because they don't make a whole lot of sound. See? A practice pad is a great thing. You should have one. Okay, now let's practice this rebound stroke. Now what we're going to do is we're going to come up with our elbow like we did. Come up with our elbow and then let the stick bounce up. Just like that. And you can let the grip loosen a little bit as the stick rebounds. Just catch it like that. Can you do that? Yeah, there you go. Just do this along with me with your lead hand for a minute. Just like casting a fishing rod. Okay, now let's do the other hand. Up with the elbow. Real loose. Do this with me. Now we're using big motions, large motions we're using. As for when we're playing forcefully and loudly, now the motions are exactly the same when we're playing softly. See, there's small motions for playing softly, but it's exactly the same. Just cracking a little whip. Do this along with me. Excellent. Okay, let's start to get a sound out of the snare drum using our match grip that we just learned and also the stroke that we just learned. So I'm going to put the pad down and we're going to do this together. Now, when we strike the snare drum with full strokes, we want to make sure that we hit dead center on the drum. Check this out. I'll do it with the left hand for a minute. Getting a nice beefy sound. Now check this out. You hear that ring? That's called a harmonic, and that's caused by uneven vibration of the head. So if you hit off center, and it's cool to do that sometimes. Sometimes you want that sound. But when you're going for a full, firm stroke, you want to hit dead center. That way you don't get that ringy sound. This way you get nice beat. So let's work on this stroke here. Now, in this section, we're going to be counting in groups of 4. Why are we counting in groups of 4? Well, if you listen to the radio, most of the songs that you're going to hear, most pop music that has drums on it, are going to be in 4. Most of the music we listen to in pop music is counted in groups of 4 beats. So that's the reason for that. So we're going to count. Here's this exercise. Basically, we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Now just keep doing this with me. If I'm doing it too fast, let me slow it down a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Just nice and snaky, really relaxed. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's do it with the left hand for a while. You can do this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just real slow and relaxed. Lots of rebound. Remember our whip? One, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent, excellent. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to play multiple strokes in each hand. We're going to play a little bit with the right, and then we're going to play a little bit with the left. And we're going to count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now, when we add the ands in there like that, like what we were just playing the beat right there. We were just playing what we call quarter notes. What we're getting ready to play is twice that. So it'll sound like this. It'll go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and so forth. So we're going to do that real slow. Let's see if we can keep that up. Let's just try it really slow, like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and now the left. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 3 and 4 and keep it up. Excellent. You're doing great. Hang in there. And 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Excellent. Great job. Now you keep that up, and if you aren't quite getting it, just rewind the DVD and review it about 1,000,000 times, and you'll get it. And, practice away from the DVD. Just get your pad out and just sit there with your pad and just 4 and you got to count 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 3 and 4 and. You know what I think we're going to do? We are going to play that along with some music. We're going to play that along with a song called Stay With Me that is on CD number 4. It's track number 2. And we're going to play that along with the track. Excellent, excellent. Now, remember to count along with that. So go to that song on your play along your play along CD, and play along with it for a long time. And just practice staying with the band. Okay, now I'm going to pick up the practice pad here, put it on the snare drum. Remember our practice pad? And what we're going to do is learn a very important concept in learning and mastering drums, and it's called the alternating stroke. Alternating single strokes are the basis of a lot of what we do in the drumming world, so it's very important to learn these. So I want you to check something out here. We're going to play the beat just with our right hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Now watch this. I'm gonna play 4 beats, and then I'm gonna play some stuff with the left hand. Watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. This is exercise 4 in the book. 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and let's do it slow. Can you do this with me? 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2. Notice nothing changes in the right hand. And watch this. And 4 and 1, 2. I'm going to move my left hand to my leg. 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3. Nothing changes in the right hand. This is your lead hand. 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Excellent. Great job. Now the next thing we're going to do, exercise 5, is going to be the rebounding stroke using all alternating strokes. So what we're going to do, we're just going to practice this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Can you do this with me? 3 and 4 and right, left, 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 right, left. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and I'm doing that fishing rod stroke, right? 4 and 1 and let's slow it down a little bit. And 3 and 4 and just do it till it feels good. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that's it. That's it. And 3. Just take your time. Just be really relaxed. 3. Now we're playing at twice the rate of the beat. The beat is, I'm going to play with my bass drum. That's what we're going to do next. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. No need for you to do it yet, though. I'm just trying to show you where the beat is. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent. Okay, now this is going to be exercise 6. In this exercise, we're going to play the beat notes, the pulse notes on the bass drum, and then we're going to play the pulse notes with the bass drum with the right hand or lead hand, and then we're going to do that for 4 beats, and then we're going to play alternating strokes for 4 beats, and we're going to alternate that. It's going to be like this. It's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2. I'll slow it down. 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3. Can you do this with me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Nice and loose. 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Now practice that a lot. That is a really good exercise for getting alternating strokes together and coordinating it with the beat on the bass drum or the pulse on the bass drum. Okay, now what we're going to do is that exact same exercise with the full snare drum. I'm going to take the pad off and we're going to play that very exercise on with the bass drum and snare drum with the track Stay With Me. And that is track 2 on CD 4. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2. Yeah, you can do it. 1, 2, 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 Basically, what we were doing there was coordinating the pulse notes or the beat of the song on the bass drum with alternating strokes on the snare drum. Alternating strokes are a very, very important dimension of drumming. So it's very important that you spend a lot of time working on that very exercise. And there's a whole lot of songs on the play-along CDs that you can use to facilitate that. So you might ask, how will I know if I'm ready to move on? Well, you're going to be ready to move on when you can find the beat of any of the songs on this session on the play-along CDs and play the pulse and beat on the bass drum in both the heel down technique and the heel up technique. And once you find those, go on and find a couple more. Go listen to a bunch of songs on the CDs and see if you can figure out where the beat lays. The other thing that you'll need to be able to do is when you can play and count the beat of any song while playing it on the bass and snare drum simultaneously. Again, using both the heel up and heel down techniques in the bass drum and the fishing rod technique in the right and left hands. Another way you'll know is with your metronome at 90 beats a minute. Oh, a metronome. Everybody should have one of these. And it's basically a timekeeping device. Hear the click? That's 90 beats a minute. And when you can play a good solid pulse at 90 beats a minute, a good solid beat on the bass drum, and when you can play in each hand and alternate Then you'll know that you're ready to move on to the next session. And so that was exercise 6. Okay, here's some tips for some successful learning on your part. Remember, you don't need to be at the drums to do the exercises. You can play on your practice pad. You can get you a block of foam rubber and just play on the foam rubber. Or you can just play in the air. You don't need drums. You can play anytime, anywhere, just doing this. The other tip, is to remember to relax all the time when you're playing this instrument. There should be no stress or tension anywhere in your body when you're playing. That's a very important point. Also, remember to try and get rebound from your strokes on the snare and bass drum. And finally, when you start to feel pain in your shins from practicing the heel down technique, stop, take a break, walk around and stretch your calf muscles. And in general, just don't get frustrated. You're learning new stuff here. We're developing not only our muscles and muscle memory, but also our ear for rhythm. And the good news here is that you can rewind the DVD 1,000 times until you get it, and you will get it. Just learn to enjoy the process of practicing and learning new things. So in going farther, go ahead and listen to some of the other songs in the play-along CDs. Go through them, listening for those that are slow enough to play along with comfortably. And find the pulse of each song and play it on the bass drum and play exercise 6 along with it. Just work towards holding it together for the whole song. So have fun, and we'll see you in the next session.